putting God on the throne. Verse 9. Whenever the living creatures give glory and honor and thanks to Him who sits on the throne, who lives forever and ever, the 24 elders fall down before Him who sits on the throne and worship Him who lives forever and ever, and cast their crowns before the throne, saying, You are worthy, O Lord, to receive glory and honor and power, for You created all things, and by Your will they exist and were created. Wow. Creator and sustainer. That's who God is. And the idea is that everything God has created has a function. And when we live into that divine design that God has made for every one of us, just like those creatures fulfilled their function, just like the 24 elders fulfilled their function, we fulfill ours. When we live into what God has called us to. Think about it. Those weird creatures, they don't just worship with one thing, with their mouth, but with their eyes and with their abilities and with their skills and with their talent and their treasure. They've got wings and eyes in and out and all kinds of stuff going on. Worship encompasses everything we are, do, and will ever be. And what you say, you might ask, Pastor Nancy, what are maybe some of the functions that God has for us? I preach it all the time. I will continue until y'all lay me in the dirt. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, with all your strength, and your neighbor as yourself. A little later on, Jesus said, New command I give you, love one another. And He's talking about the church. He's talking about the Christians. Love one another as I have loved you. And by that, the world will know you're mine. And then I'll be dog if we don't go a little further. And it says, go into all the world and make disciples. That's not just for preachers. That's for every Christian, every person who's fulfilling their God-given function and design. We not only worship when we're in our sanctuaries, we worship when we fulfill the purposes God has set for us. Some of it will be common purposes, like fellowship and like banding together. And some of it will be individual. Not everyone is called to stay up all night with teenagers. Some are. Not everyone gets lit up by studying Lamentations, but I know a few. Not everybody gets into singing and music. Y'all realize that, don't you? Sometimes we need a little silence. And then sometimes we need somebody to run the aisles. Hadn't seen that in a while, but sometimes we could use it. Or people just to spontaneously testify on a Sunday morning. That's all a part of worship because that's coming from the heart. True worship happens when we put God first in our life. When what God says matters more than what others say. And when loving God matters more than being loved. Only in a relationship that prioritizes God above all else will we honestly worship in spirit and in truth. The heart of worship is to seek to know and love God. The heart of worship is to seek and know and love God with everything in us. Let's pray. Well, Heavenly